As I said, after dealing with the girly bits cancer back in 2004, when I basically took the year off and only went down to Donny. I went down to Donny's like 4 times in 2004. There's still 2 more visits that are in the lockup. Oh, by the way, over the summer there was a fire at the lockup, but luckily the fire was in. Some bloke was threw a cigarette or something out of a car window in the car park or something nearby. It set fire to one of the trees out there. It's in the news. You can look it up on online, sort of thing. And then it spread from the tree to the roof of the lockup. Fortunately, it only affected not the other side. And they have some sort of walled-off panel thing that goes right up to the ceiling. So, the sprinklers came on the other side, but when we turned up, because they gave you a ring, do you want to come in and check your stuff, sort of thing, we turned up and there were some really forlorn faces on some of the people taking out these like damp, wet cardboard and stuff out of the thing. So that could have been us, fellas, could have been us. So, I'm trying to get my partner, especially with all this cancer stuff, to finally get that other box, which I put into the lockup in a weak moment many years ago now, out, because it contains all the other bits and pieces. Like for the first 6 months of the video camera, I was dumping the tapes onto VHS, the large VHS tapes, storing them that way. So I've got a lot on stuff there for the first 6 months, unfortunately. And I've got to find those by going through the VHS tapes. But then I discovered that the quality wasn't quite the same. And so I stuck to the mini cassettes, which were expensive because they were $30 basically. I think they were $30. They were basically the price of a video cassette, basically. So every 45 minutes, it was the price of a 240-minute or 4-hour VHS cassette. So basically, every one of those films down at Donny's was basically $30, I think it was. It was pretty expensive back then. And even though, and then of course I've got things trying to transfer them, Twitch. My son puts me onto Twitch, and of course, the quality's not good. And then of course, recording them on the TV machine, there's a difference. If you don't get the right setting right, you go from like 380p to, you go from 480p that you could have down to 380p and blah, 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 and combined with Twitch and other stuff. So, I've tried to re-upload some of them. And then, of course, you find that you've burnt them you've gone down the shops and you've burnt them to discs, and there's 2 brands of discs. And when you want to re-upload them, you find that the white discs don't do that. You can't, you've got to change the format of the storage program, and I don't know. They've been talking about voice actuation for years. They've been talking about DAT or video audio tape since I was a teenager, and we still don't seem to have digital audio tape, and we still don't seem to have voice actuation, though if you're on some bloody government telephone line, there doesn't seem to be any problems with numbers and figures in there. And I'm thinking, you've already got voice actuation, they're just not letting you have it, I think. Anyway, as I said, this is just a bumbling, stumbling, could be a ranty one, I don't know. We're living in interesting times. But as I said, if you've got nothing to hide, you've got nothing to fear. That's what I said to some bloke. It sounds like a naive statement, but I'm a composer. I can make something that's immortal. What have I got to fear, Yeah, it's just like, as I said, a composer's life is not a happy one, everyone. Yeah. Thing of a modern Major General, yes, I know, yes. I think I'm going to have to put my hat on. There's still a little bit of stingage, even though we've basically crossed over the middle of the wet. As I said, the end of June is basically the wettest month. Scientifically, June is the wettest month here, but because it comes right at the end of June and crosses over into July, everyone thinks it's July. But scientifically speaking, if you go and look at the papers and the graphs and the data and everything, it's June. So by early August, when the first 2 weeks of August, of course, we have the coldest nights. It's getting quite chilly now. There's a few wits down there, but they're not wonderful. As I said last time we were here, we totally missed that there's a dam in there. I think it's called the National Dam, but I'm not quite sure. There may be two. Totally missed. It could actually be back there where where the Wettest is down there, where it dips down and gets wet. We just totally walked past.